Hello, and welcome to the Tales series where I tell you tales from my time as an anime fan. And I would like to share with you it's a partially game, partially anime story. You probably hear this sliding right now. It's about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. The game for the Nintendo DS actually came with a special DVD that I've kept with me for so long because the game came out in, I believe, 2009. And I just want to share this story with you because it's a very precious memory of mine, and it also kickstarted a very key interest that I have. So, my mom would take me and my siblings a lot of different places when we were growing up, and she would do so. She was very transparent about this. She said, I take you to these places even if we don't spend any money. If we are just watching, I want you to get as much cultural knowledge as you can. I want you to see how different people interact, what types of businesses can sell what types of things, how different infrastructures are made. I want you to see as many buildings and hear as many stories as you possibly can, while, of course, being under my protection. She wanted us to become very knowledgeable, kind, and storied people. And I truly appreciate that to this day because it has formed how I interact with others. And so, of course, thank you for that, Mom. But there were times where we would buy things, and I don't remember if I had done anything particularly good that week or there was some reward, but my mom liked to spoil us when she could. And she took me to this place called Carolina Mall in Concord, North Carolina. So we were just walking around, and but she was doing so with the surprise that she was going to take me to GameStop and get me a copy of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky, which in my opinion is the best Pokemon spin-off game that has ever existed. I love Explorers of Sky so much. And because of how much of a shock that was, because of how beautiful of a moment that was, because, my mom knew I was an unhappy child, but she also knew that I had key interests and she would always try to facilitate those when she could. Getting to come to Carolina Mall to see this was a very big deal. To get to buy this game and know that my mom was buying it for me to make me happy. I've never once not appreciated when my mom did that slash does that for me. It's always appreciated. It's always, I know it comes from a place of love and admiration, and I'm always so happy about it. But because of that key memory and because it happened in Carolina Mall is what some people might consider to be a dying mall. A dying mall is basically a mall where there are a lot of closed shops, which this wasn't as much the case in 2009 as it is now, but there were still some shuttering doors then. But it always looked very dated. When you see malls with carpeted flooring, you say, wow, this has not been updated in a very long time. And I would just take in these different aspects of this mall that was dying in 2009 and is dying even more now. And it made me realize, as much as I fear things like abandoned buildings, that I fear sheer silence and darkness, the financial situations that lead to buildings being abandoned and companies becoming bankrupt, or the lack of populace that leads to stores shutting down and certain stores being left up and they still be slightly populated by people. Nowhere near the bustling bazaar that it could be, but still alive somehow. That was what started that, because for the first time, we would go once or twice a year because admittedly that's a mall that does not have much substance to it. I mean, it has a lot of character, but there wasn't really a lot there that you couldn't find elsewhere. But I really just took in the mall that day and I said, this is interesting. And now as an adult, I do just for fun look up videos of people doing walkthroughs of malls, whether they're full and alive, whether they're dying or they're dead and abandoned. And it's a really nice pastime for me. And then I will do research, old promos, old announcements, formal announcements saying, hey, this is what we're doing in, maybe it's like the 80s or 90s. We're revamping, or this store will be closing, or this mall is closing. You can look at financial reports. It's all very fascinating stuff to me. And so having that be an interest, I don't know if it's a niche interest or not. I feel like there are a lot of people who enjoy that. But my love for Pokemon and my mother's love for me, I got to play one of the greatest games of all time. This movie is really fun. It's just like a short animated special. I consider it a movie. It's really great. It it all just is such a loving memory for me, and it's those core memories that add to who we are as people. And it just lets me know that you never know what's going to make a new part of you. So, I thank my mom in a lot of my videos. I know that. Thank you, Mom, once again for creating this core memory for me because I do think about it every time that I boot up Explorers of Sky or when I'm dusting off my collection and I see this. And of course, at first I was doing research on my own and now I just get to watch people do these walkthroughs on YouTube and do these deep dives and it's really cool. And I like that being part of my interest, part of my personality. But that's all from me and I will see you guys next time. Take care.